In the last episode, we talked about the Anima and how that ties to the different stages of development and really, the way we relate to the feminine. But then there's also the Animus, which is, the masculine aspect of the psyche in Jungian psychology. And the Animus can be seen as a collection of unconscious masculine archetypes, think also masculine deities or male figures in one's life, and beliefs that influence a person's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And the Animus, much like the Anima, can play a number of different roles in the psyche. Firstly, it can provide a sense of direction and purpose. The Animus can help a person to set goals, make decisions, and take action in pursuit of their goals. It also helps with providing a sense of power and assertiveness, where the Animus can further give a person the confidence and strength to stand up for themselves and assert their own needs and desires. Next to this, the Animus further can provide a sense of mental and intellectual ability, where it can help a person to think logically, critically, and creatively, and to develop their intellectual abilities. Where finally, it can help to give one a sense of connection and understanding of the masculine perspective. So, the Animus can help a woman to better understand and relate to men and the masculine experience. And it is the father that endows his child's Animus with the special coloring of unarguable, incontestably, quote-unquote, true convictions. Convictions that don't always include the entire personal reality of the child themselves as they actually are. And this is why the Animus is sometimes like the Anima, a demon of death. In the folktale of Bluebeard, we can, see such a representation of a negative Animus who secretly kills all his wives in a hidden chamber. And when he marries another woman, he asks her not to open a certain secret door where all the corpses are found. The woman, however, is overcome by curiosity in the story and opens it. In this form, the Animus personifies all the cold and destructive reflections that can, for instance, invade a woman's psyche. And then unconscious Animus opinion, can also lead to a strange passivity and paralysis of all feelings or a deep insecurity, where in the depths of a person's being, the Animus can whisper something like, "You are hopeless. What's the use of trying? There is no point in doing anything. Life will never change for the better." So just as the Anima, the Animus can also take on this kind of parasitical aspect, this negative aspect. Unfortunately, however, whenever one is possessed by the Anima or Animus, it can seem as if we ourselves are having such thoughts and feelings. So the ego identifies with them to the point where it is unable to detach itself and see them for what they are. So one becomes possessed by the unconscious, and only after the possession has fallen away does one realize with horror that one has said and done things diametrically opposed to one's real thoughts and feelings. It in the end is about building the right relationship with this inner aspect of ourselves that can then also resolve this inner conflict, where the Anima or Animus becomes a helpful figure. And like the Anima, the Animus does not, merely consist of negative qualities such as brutality, recklessness, empty talk, and silent, obstinate, evil ideas. He too has a very positive and valuable side, as he too can build a bridge to the self through his creative activity. So if, for instance, a woman realizes who and what her Animus is, her Animus can turn into an invaluable inner companion who endows her with the masculine qualities of initiative, courage, objectivity, and spiritual wisdom. Similarly to the Anima, the Animus can also show up in a split form, In this case, the negative father complex would be why, the animus of an individual can become split. So a woman, for instance, can have a split animus due to, such a father complex. And the father complex refers to a person's unconscious beliefs, attitudes, and feelings about their father and the masculine principle. And these beliefs and attitudes can sometimes be conflicted or contradictory, leading to, a split animus. So a woman with a father complex may have both positive and negative unconscious beliefs about men, which can manifest as two different animus figures in her psyche. For example, she may have a positive animus figure representing the logical and heroic aspects of masculinity, and a negative animus figure representing the unpredictable and destructive aspects of masculinity. And this split animus often coming to the forefront in dreams. It is further also possible that trauma can also be the cause for such a split, manifesting often as a younger and older animus figure, much like with the Anima. And when a person experiences trauma, they can then develop a split in their unconscious mind between the part of themselves that experienced the trauma and, the part of themselves that is trying to cope with it, much like I said with the Anima. And this split can manifest in the animus, with one figure representing the traumatized aspect and the other the coping aspect. Again, like with the Anima, the younger animus figure may be associated with feelings of fear, vulnerability, and helplessness, while the older animus figure may be associated with feelings of resilience, strength, and determination. And this split form of the animus finally, may also again arise when a person's unconscious beliefs and attitudes about the opposite gender are conflicting or contradictory. And the goal of animus work is to make the relational patterns conscious, same, as with Anima work. So the way we relate to the people in our life, including the men in this case. The stages of animus development is also something that I want to go deeper into as well within this video. And in Jungian psychology, like with the development of the Anima, animus development is often described in the terms of different stages or levels of integration as well. And these stages represent the evolving relationship between the person and their inner masculine qualities. Like with the Anima stages, we will use a similar model that has 5 stages instead of the traditional 4 stages that Jung used. In the initial projection stage, the animus is projected onto men known for their physical strength, much like the legendary hero Hercules. In this phase, the masculine figure represents physical prowess and protection, fulfilling the woman's need for security and physical satisfaction. This is also the tendency for the whole bad boy trope that is often talked about within the culture as well. Needing to be the bad boy, but also, the whole nice guy thing not working because, this is kind of the underlying mechanism regarding why. Because this is the, initial stage of development. Where the second stage is the attraction stage, which revolves around intense attraction and desire directed towards specific male figures. So people in this stage may be drawn to heroic warriors like Achilles or creative poets like Orpheus. And these figures, symbolize the qualities that captivate admiration, with the animus embodying initiative and the drive for independence and personal success. We can also see such an animus figure, but then more internalized within feminism as well. Just to give a specific cultural example regarding this. Which leads into the internalization stage itself, which signifies the integration of intellectual qualities. And the Hellenic Apollo, the god of knowledge and music and the arts, embodies the wisdom in intellect internalized by people within this stage. In this phase, a woman can, for instance, respect traditional learning, engages in sustained creative work, and reflects deeply on her own identity. where the Animus takes on the role of a lover, fostering a meaningful individual connection. Where then in the wisdom stage, the Animus transitioned into a spiritual guide, offering wisdom, mentorship, and spiritual insight. And this stage involves a mediating role, facilitating communication between a woman's conscious mind and her unconscious. And Hermes, is a good symbol regarding this. And Hermes being the messenger of the gods and guide of souls. And he, in that sense, embodies, the spiritual guidance central to this phase. Like the Anima, the Animus is the bridge between the conscious mind and the unconscious, mediating between them, connecting one with both the intellectual and emotional, as much as the intuitive and instinctual. We can also see this type of guiding role with Attis in the mysteries connected to the goddess Cybele, for instance, where Attis is the priest or attendant of the mother goddess. Where finally we have then the integration stage. And that's the Animus, Iachus, that symbolizes this stage, serves as a bridge between the spiritual and material realms, embodying the integration of higher consciousness and primal instincts. Like the harmonious fusion seen in Feronia stage, Iachus symbolizes the coming together of emotional, intuitive, nurturing, confident, instinctual, and spiritual parts of the psyche. The integration process under, the Animus in this stage being about the universal merging of polarities within the individual. So in that sense, Iachus and the Animus then starts to act as a mediator, facilitating inner space for people to confront and reconcile these dualities. This includes the integration of neglected aspects of the self, so in the end fostering a sense of wholeness. And much like the balancing role Feronia plays in relational aspects, Iachus also similarly encourages a harmonious relationship between the ego and the deeper layers of the psyche. So the Animus in this context becomes a guiding force for people to accept and celebrate all aspects of their being, so fostering a more holistic and interconnected existence. So they can also honor and accept their own shadows, next to the shadows and others. And the Animus, as the integrator of dualities, then becomes the archetype guiding, people towards a more balanced whole and interconnected existence. Even though, the self archetype that can, be like a sovereignty goddess, for instance, for women, can also, start to play more and more such a role as well, where the Animus, helps in this process of reconciling these dualities and brings them, together with, for instance, the sovereignty goddess. And the person who has reached this stage also then values the capacity for deep emotions, intuition, and connection to transformative aspects of the unconscious. And when it comes to, both the Anima and Animus, in that sense, they also are key regarding the transformation and transmutation of things within the unconscious next to the integration, as they are the bridge to the unconscious and its messenger,